say hello to the camera because we are going to be recording the session today. Ready? So guys, today we're going to be working in our first class of the first week of intermediate one. Okay? As is the first class, I want to make some recommendations to you. Okay? Me and the other teachers are going to be asking a lot of questions around the class. So it's a good idea if you activate your microphones to answer, right? I mean, not all the time, but just every time that you want to answer something, activate your microphone, speak, and then you turn it off again. Okay? So, guys, be attentive to the class. That's the most important recommendation because it's possible that at some point I am going to ask you something like, Maritza tal cosa, o Julián tal otra, o Najibi tal otra, right? So be attentive to the class because I am going to be asking you a lot of questions. If you don't have microphone, it's okay, it's fine, but you can answer on the chat, but it's better to use the microphone, right? Because it's faster, it's more dynamic, the class that way, okay? Marisa, question?
Yes, teacher. So we must have the camera turned out,
Not
or it's
necessarily.
okay.
No, it's fine. I
Okay.
don't I don't want to see you, I just want to hear you, right?
Okay, perfect.
Oh,
Thank
no problem. You can be in pajamas, no problem. Don't worry. Just the most important is that you are attentive to the class and you participate as much as you want.
you.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So, well, we're going to start our first class. Um, I want to make a reminder to you. Ready? When you enter to your course, to your level, right? The first thing that you find is the announcement board, and there you can find the infographic of the week, right? This week, we're going to have this infographic with some professions there and some vocabulary table there. Well, that's I mean, the idea of this announcement board is that I'm going to be posting some information related to the topics of the week. Yes. For example, the first week is related to personality and jobs. So what we find here, it's vocabulary about personality and different professions over here. Okay. So guys, in that case, the idea, I really recommend you to um like check the board of the announcements every week so you can find some vocabulary or some questions related to the week already. But it's important to check the information there because it's like a little help for you. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, we're going to start here with the questions from the infographic, right? And then first we can find that we have a lot of different words there, like a lot of different adjectives, no? So in that case, guys, those adjectives that we have there, wait a second. Wait. Okay, that's it. So all the adjectives that we have here are going to be related to personality. Yes. All of these characteristics that we can find here are going to be related to the way that the people behave, right? Do you remember what is the meaning of the word behave? Behave. What is that?
Comportarse.
Comportarse. Very good, Jonathan.
Sí.
So, exactly. So in that case, all of these characteristics are related to the way that the people behave, right? What is the meaning of supportive? Bueno, in Spanish we don't have that word, but what is the concept supportive?
Social worker.
But not what is the profession, but what is the, I mean, what is the characteristic of a supportive person? Is a person
Help
who
somebody.
exactly, Brian. It's a person that is always wanting to help other people, right? So where is a person that always wants to be support for the others, no? So be there for the others. What about then if I say moody? What's the person? What is a moody person?
Like they are brave.
Like they're going to be changing their moods all the time. Maybe they can be happy, but next time the person is kind of cranky, and the next time the person is, oh, sorry, wait, this is wait, that's it. So the next time the person is like cranky, and the next person, the next time the person is a little bit grumpy, you know, so it can change moods very quickly. Then, well, what is the meaning of the relaxed? What is a relaxed person?
It's like a cool person.
Exactly. It's a
Could be.
person, yeah, of
Mm-hmm.
course. Person that doesn't get too stressed, no? So the person doesn't get stressed for anything. It's a person relaxed. Good. What about reliable? What's a reliable person?
Someone you can trust.
Yeah, exactly. It's someone that you can trust. No, it's a person that I completely can trust. It's a reliable person. Well, brave, brave, it's more related to the value of the person. If the person is like brave, if it's a person that is not scared of the things, no, so it's the opposite of being scared. Hmm?
The word courage could be the same teacher, or is not, doesn't apply.
Does it apply? But courage, it's a noun. Yes.
Okay.
Courage is a noun.
Okay.
If we would like to find a synonym of brave, it would be
Yeah.
courageous.
Courageous.
That
Okay.
is the characteristic, right? Mhm. Exactly. Very good. Well, outgoing, it's a person that likes to speak a lot with people. It's a very sociable person.
Yes,
So,
it's like an extrovert that like with people and shows emotionally easier than the
exactly.
people.
Exactly. It's a person that can express their emotions easily, no? Same as sociable, but sociable is kind of similar to Spanish. It's a person that likes to socialize with other people, no? What about modest? What would you say it's a modest person?
A humble person.
Yeah, it's a person that is humble. Humble, it's a good adjective, no? Humble, it's a person that it doesn't feel comfortable like or showing off their accomplishments or their talents, no? It's a person that wants to have a low profile, okay? Then what about what it's a funny person?
Like is happier also.
Yeah, it's a person that produces happiness in people. It's a person that also we can classif classify as hilarious, no? What's the meaning of hilarious? Well, it's the same as funny, no? It's a synonym of funny, no? Hilarious, it's a person that is extremely, extremely funny that makes me laugh so good, right? Then this one it's a little bit strange. What is the meaning of knowledgeable?
It's like an expert.
Exactly. Very good. He's a person that knows a lot about a topic, no? For example, I consider myself knowledgeable about linguistics. Hmm? Because I'm an expert on linguistics, so that's why I consider myself knowledgeable in linguistics, right? And then what would be an independent person?
Like they don't
Mhm.
depend for one person.
Exactly, but it's a very kind of similar word. It's very transparent because it's very similar in Spanish and English. And yeah, it's a person that it doesn't depend on anybody else, no? So it's a person that depends on themselves, right? And finally, reserved is also a very transparent person, a transparent word because it's very similar in Spanish. And it's a person that doesn't want to share so much what happens in his or her life, right? It's a person that keeps everything for himself or for herself, right? So in that case, guys, we have a lot of different vocabulary in general terms of adjectives of personality. And at the same time, of course, that you can find different professions around it, right? So you can find up to be a pilot, a chemist, a soldier, a judge, right? A fireman or a fire person, a doctor, a chef or a cook, an astronaut, a waiter, and a veterinarian. Ready? What could be the best option or the best personality trait for a chemist or for a scientist in general?
Notable.
Knowledgeable. It's important, right? Because it's a person that has to know the different combinations, the different theories, the different equations. No, good, muy bien. What about then for a soldier? What would be the best personality trait for them?
Brave.
Brave.
Brave or courageous, right? Exactly. Yes, they have to be brave. They cannot be scared of anything, right? Then what about for a judge? What could
Maybe reliable.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe reliable. Also, we could find, for example, impartial, objective. Yeah, could be those two. What about a fireman? Well, of course, brave, but do you find another one different?
Supportive.
Supportive, of course. It's a person that the person must like to help other people, no? Very good. What about a doctor?
Also supportive.
Also supportive, right? Of course. Also, I would say that it's a person that should be also knowledgeable. They must know a lot of things, right? Good. Muy bien. What about a cook? If you're a cook, what you should be? How should be your personality?
Sometimes moody.
It's true. It's not a good characteristic, but many times, I mean, it's a very typical stereotype that the cooks are really moody because of the pressure in the in the kitchen, right? So because of that pressure that they have to suffer, they become a little bit moody, right? And they also become a little bit stressed, no? They are not relaxed people, right? Muy bien. What about an astronaut?
Independent.
Hmm. Well, independent, very good. Independent because they need to make choices up in the sky, no? They cannot depend on
Brave
somebody to say.
themselves. Mm.
Exactly, very good. Brave too. And I'm going to give you another one, which is resourceful. Do you know what's the meaning of resourceful?
Recursivo.
Exactly like that, Julia. Very good. Resourceful, right? So in that case, they should be two. Hmm? What about if I have a waiter? Well, a good waiter, of course, not a bad waiter. A good waiter. Well, what do you think?
Sociable.
Sociable. Mm-hmm.
Completely sociable and what other? What other did you say? Sorry.
Outgoing as
Outgoing.
well.
Yeah.
Funny.
Usually funny, right? Not too funny, but funny enough, no? Funny enough. Do you remember what's the meaning of enough?
Yes.
Suficiente.
Sufficiente.
Suficiente. So when I have a characteristic plus enough, like for example, funny enough is like suficientemente, yes? So for example, an astronaut should be independent enough. Not completely independent, but independent enough, right? Like suficientemente independiente. And a waiter should be funny enough, not too much, but just the right amount, right? And finally, a veterinarian, what should be the best personality trait?
Knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable about the parts of the body of the animals and the different species and the different things, right? Okay, very good. Ah, well, and we have pilot, the last one, no? Pilot.
Independent also.
Yeah, but it's kind of
Yes, because they have to travel a lot of time. They are alone.
okay. Well, out of the plane, no? Like when they are outside of the plane, they are alone in the hotels, right? Okay. Okay, very good, guys. So in that case, of course, some of the characteristics here were not so good. Like for example, moody. Like for example, reserved. No, it sometimes can be considered as something not so good, but are characteristics that the people usually have. Ready? So, guys, in that case, we're going to have a short activity about unscrambling words. Ready? Here we're going to find 10 different adjectives. Some of them were in the previous activity, some of them were not. I would like you to help me to unscramble these words that we have here. All of them are adjectives of personality. Ready? So,
Teacher Cafat.
which one?
Honest.
Honest. Where the last one? Wait, let me just change the color. Let me change the color. Wait a second. Okay, now, is it honest? Muy bien, very good. What about Magali?
Outgoing.
Oh, bueno,
Outgoing.
ok,
Generous.
bueno, dijeron la misma, muy bien. Number two is outgoing, pero alguien dijo generous, very good.
Yeah, it's the next one.
Is the
Temperamental.
wait. Espacio, espacio. Thank you. Temperamental. Good. María, tienes la manita arriba. ¿Otra? Y...
Sorry, teacher, no.
Ok.
But moody.
Egotistical.
Mm-hmm.
Momento. Which one? Sorry, once again.
I
Egotistical.
said
Egotistical. Very good. That's our first one.
Oh,
Egotistical.
moody.
Relaxed.
Moody, somebody said over here. Very good. Moody
Yes.
and
Relaxed.
relaxed. Very good. And we have two more.
Stingy.
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 Very good. Excellent, right? Stingy. And the last one. A person that is not flexible. It's a person that doesn't like to change.
Strict.
Strict. Very good, Valeria. Very good. Magali, yes. So strict. So, guys, of course, well, most of them were there in the activity, yes, but other ones were not. So, let me just erase this part. Here we're going to find all the answers: egotistical, outgoing, generous, stingy, relaxed, honest, pardon, strict, moody, temperamental. Oh, and we missed funny. No, it was there. We didn't see it, but it was there. No, so it was funny too. Okay, so in this case, guys, as you can see, the vocabulary of adjectives of personality is really extensive. We have these ones, but of course, we have a lot more. Okay, so in general terms, when we want to describe the characteristics of a person, or when we describe the personality of a person, yes, someone, it's because they have different characteristics, no? So, for example, egotistical, it's a person that is self-centered, and usually, not always, but usually they are very unconsiderate, right? They are so self-centered, so they are normally a little bit unconsidered, right? So also, it's a person that doesn't doesn't share so much, no? It's another characteristic, yes? And also, it's a person that always thinks in themselves.
Teacher, it could be also this, selfish, or selfish is kind of different one.
Selfish is different. This one, it's a kind of tricky word because us in Spanish we confuse it with egoísta, but it's not egoísta.
Uh-huh.
It's egotistical. Is
Egocéntrico.
exactly like that. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So it's self-centered. Ready? So it's a person that it's always all the time thinking on themselves, right? So in that case, I am going to have different characteristics. Yes, some of them like characteristics, and some of them situations that describe or that are typical in that personality. Yeah. For example, an egotistical person, an egotistical person loves when people compliment them. What is the meaning of compliment?
Halagar.
Exactly, very good. So,
Cumplido.
well, compliment, o sea, con el acento complement, it's cumplido, but complement, it means halagar, ready? So it's a verb. In that case, it's an egotistical person loves when the people compliment them, yes? So they like to receive compliments, yes? So in that case, guys, when I want to describe those characteristics of the different types of personality, yeah, we have a possibility, and it's to connect ideas using relative pronouns. In this case, we're going to learn two relative pronouns. The first one, it's who, because we are talking about people, and the second one, it's when, because we're talking about situations, right? So in this case, the relative pronoun is going to help me to, as I said before, connect sentences. Ready? A ver, come on. It's here. It's going to help me to connect sentences depending, of course, if the relative pronouns, if the person, if the subject is a person, the relative pronoun, it's going to be who. Yeah, because it's talking about a person, right? If the subject it's not a person, but it's related to a situation, then probably I'm not going to use who. I'm going to use when, because I'm talking about a situation, not about the subject itself, right? So in this case, for example, we have some examples. Let's say, Andres, my friend, please help me to read the first example over here, man. And then another, Valeria, can you help me, please?
She is a woman who likes to travel and meet new people.
Exactly. Bueno, ahí no se ve, but yes, very good. It's people. Excellent, right? So in that case, the characteristic of that woman is that she likes to travel and meet new people, right? In this case, guys, the first sentence is a defining clause, right? The first sentence is going to introduce the idea. I can use it with verb to be, for example, is a person, is someone, it's a teacher, is a professional, it's a blah, 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 right? And then the second sentence is going to express the idea that I really want to express. Yes? What I want to express about she is that she likes to travel and meet new people. But I introduce the idea by expressing that she's a woman. She's not a girl. She's not a man. She's a woman, right? And with certain characteristics, right? Mrs. Adam, pregunta, question?
Teacher, I have a question. And what happens when we have of a more of one person?
Is exactly the same because the relative pronouns are going to be able for singular and for plural, right? For example, Emily and Adam are people who, the same, it's plural, but nothing happens, are people who like to study English, for example, right? So it doesn't matter because the relative pronouns are available for singular and for plural nouns, okay? Good? Yes? That was your question? Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, great, excellent, right? Bueno, Mrs. Valerie, help me with the second example, my dear.
Okay. My dad is a real good person who who you can
Relax with.
relax with. Okay.
Exactly, very good, Valerie. So in that case, I am not only saying that my dad is a person. Of course, that my dad is a person, kind of obvious. But I am describing what is the characteristic of my dad. Ah, okay, my dad is a reliable person, right? And in the second part, I describe what are the implications of that. The implication that my dad is a reliable person, it's that is a person that you can relax with. Notice that when you talk about a preposition, might be with or to or in, it's going to go to the end, right? In this case, why? Because the sentence says, mi papá es una persona confiable en quien tú puedes confiar, ¿cierto? O en este caso, con quien tú te puedes relajar. El con, which is the preposition, it's going to go at the end of the sentence, right? So I am going to make more examples like this one, but take into account when I have another situation to share with that person, usually I use a preposition, yes? For creating sentences like, for example, en quién, con quién, a quién, de quién, you know? So all of those prepositions are going to go at the end. But we're going to make more examples, don't worry. And Mr. Jonathan, help me to read the blue example, mine.
And so one who like to be responsible and punctual.
Exactly. So in that case, guys, notice that sometimes I am going to have the possibility to, after the who or after the relative pronoun, include a verb. Like, for example, who likes or who like. Ready? Other times, no. Other times, I am going to have to include another different subject. Depending on what? Well, it's going to be very easy. The first sentence, remember that it's an introduction of the idea. The second sentence, it's what I really want to express. If the subject of the first sentence is equal to the subject of the second sentence, then I don't have to repeat it. But if the subject of the first sentence is different to the subject of the second sentence, then it's necessary to mention it, right? So the second sentence can start with the subject. If it's a different subject than this one, then the verb and then the complement. Or if it's the same subject, I can only start with the verb and just the complement, right? I have the two possibilities. For example, my dad is a reliable person. My dad, it's he. And the second sentence starts with you. Okay, so in that case, it's necessary to mention the subject again. In those cases, when I have the other subject, it's very possible that I'm going to use a preposition, yes? And the preposition is going to go at the end. right? Because it depends, it's a person that en quién, con quién, something like that. So it go in the preposition, it's going to go to the end of the sentence, right? On the other cases, not, because it's the same idea. It's the same subject in the first and in the second sentence. So it's going to be just same person. So we don't have preposition at the end, right? So, like for example, here, I am someone, ¿quién? Who likes to be responsible? Me, myself. So, okay, it's the same subject. I don't have to mention it. Yes. I am someone who, sin mencionar I, likes, aquí va, likes to be responsible and punctual. Yes. The same here. She is a woman who she likes, pero obviamente no uso el segundo she. So in that case, she is a woman who likes to travel and meet new people. Okay, ready? ¿Qué tal, guys? Questions there, más o menos, more or less, difficult, easy, kind of?
No, it is easy.
Teacher,
Mhm.
for the second example that you said, it's possible to after the who, the subject, in this case you, it could be you can be relaxed, or it's better to just to use the preposition or the at the end, like this example.
In that case, both would work, because one thing it's like saying like con quien te puedes relajar, but in the other case it's
Okay.
like con quien puedes estar relajado. So it's basically the same. Both are possible, right?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, very good. So, guys, in that case, describing this is going to allow me to describe different possibilities of different characteristics of the subject. Yeah. For example, I'm saying that my dad is a reliable person, but I could say, for example, that an egotistical person, egotistical person is someone, and then I introduce all what I want to say about the egotistical person. For example, an egotistical person is someone who, and then the characteristics that we said, is a person or is someone who is self-centered, is someone who doesn't like to share with others, is someone who has a high opinion of themselves, right? So in that case, it has different characteristics, right? All connected with who. Hmm? So after the who, usually the verbs are going to be in third person, because this is like another person. Even if I am talking about myself, incluso si estoy hablando de mí, right? I'm going to have the verb in third person because I am presenting myself as a third person. Cuando digo yo soy alguien a quien, it's presenting myself, me estoy presentando a mí mismo como una tercera persona. So in that case, that's why usually we have that. Claro, of course, if we have other subject, then it's not going to apply. Then the verb is going to be conjugated with this subject. But if it's the same subject here and here, the verb that starts, usually it's conjugated as a third person. Okay, ready? Wait. So that's the way that we can create this kind of description in this case about the personality, but I can do it about whatever. I can do it, for example, for professions, no? Maritza, what is your profession, my dear? Or what is your occupation?
I am accountant.
Accountant. Good, excellent. Good example. So, accountant. And I'm saying like, I have no idea what is an accountant. So, an accountant is a professional. Bueno, I have no idea. What does an accountant do? What are the characteristics of an accountant?
Who present the financial statement.
Good. Who presents, right? Tercera persona. So,
Yeah.
an accountant is a professional who presents financial statements. ¿Qué más? Any other characteristics?
Book the in the system, for example, book the information in the system.
Great. Upload. Upload it means like cargar, no? So, uploads this information into the system, right? So, those are the actions that the accountants do. Good. Yeah. But also, I can introduce the characteristics. For example, for me, in my personal opinion, I consider that an accountant is a professional who is very meticulous. I think, maybe.
Teacher,
Yes, Adam,
I have a question.
of course.
If we say that accountant is someone who also does budgets. So we're okay or not?
Yeah, great. An accountant is someone who also, well, presents or prepares. Maybe does is not the verb, but we could talk about prepares taxes. Ready? So, but yes, of course, the sentence is great. Okay. So then the second part, the second sentence, the second clause is going to present the information, the most important information, what I really want to express about that person. ¿Cierto? The actions that the person do, the characteristic of that person, right? Even if it's about a personality type or a profession o a specific person or whatever. ¿Cierto? Entonces, for example, no sé, one example, I'm going to call blah, 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 Brian. It's there, you know, so I'm saying, I know, but Brian is a guy who is really, let's say, engaged. What's the meaning of engaged?
Compromise.
Compromise. Bueno, claro que compromise es cuando estoy comprometido con algo como de mala forma, ¿no? Como
Okay, engage is like
Compromiso.
engage es comprometido, pero de buena manera, es decir, como con buen compromiso. Como en compromise es like, oh my God, estoy comprometido de una mala manera, como que tengo responsabilidad de alguna forma en esa acción, right?
can I say like engage with my jobs?
Good, for example, so Brian is a guy who is really engaged with his job, right? Characteristic is that he is really engaged. Easy. Claro, of course. If I have another sentence that in which the information is not about himself, but it's about me, for example, then the subject has to be presented. Example, Brian is a guy who I need to talk with, right? Notice that when I introduce another subject, it's very common that I introduce a preposition at the end. Why? Because in that case, the sentence is, Brian es un muchacho con quien yo necesito hablar, right? So that is why the preposition goes here. Because when I have a different subject, yes, there is a relationship between the person one and the person two. Maybe it's, as I said, de quién, de alguien para alguien, con quién, de alguien con alguien, en quién, de alguien en otra persona, right? So in that case, depending on that, I can change the preposition here, right? So if, for example, Brian is a reliable person, it means that Brian is a guy who I can trust. What preposition do you think goes here? Which one?
Wait,
Not really.
For,
Not really.
In?
to,
Mm,
oh,
muy bien, because es en quien yo puedo confiar. So it's en quien. That's why the preposition is in, right? So depending the verb that we use, then the expression is going to be, or the preposition is going to be different, right? For example, another example, yes. Brian, it's a guy who I can talk. What's the preposition there?
To.
Exactly, Valeria. Talk to. Recuerden que en inglés no digo hablar con, sino hablar a, right? So in that case, Brian is a guy who I can talk to. Yeah, the preposition with the verb talk is to, right? So, last one. Brian is a person who I can depend
on.
For.
on. Very good. On. Ready? The verbo depend siempre va con on. Entonces, Brian es un chico en quien yo puedo depender, right? So, Brian is a guy who I can depend on, right? Depending the verb, I can change the preposition at the end. On, with, by, for, with, depend, right? Depending on the situation. So, guys, hasta ahí so far. Questions about it, difficulties, problems, anything, or is it clear?
It is clear.
Great, excellent. So this is for describing the characteristics of a person. But when we describe a person and the personality that the person may have, it's not only about the characteristics or it's not about the actions that they do. It's also about the situations that they prefer or that they like or that they don't like to face, right? In which case, I am not going to use who, but I'm going to use the relative pronoun when. It's basically the same, right? It's basically the same, the structure, because we have the subject and in the middle we have the relative pronoun, but we are talking about situations, right? So in the first sentence, I am going to introduce what is my position towards that situation. And in the second sentence, I am going to introduce, of course, what is the situation that I am talking about, right? In the first part, I can say things like, for example, I hate it, I like it, I love it, I enjoy it, I don't mind it. Hmm? What is the meaning of don't mind? Do you know the expression don't mind?
No importa.
Yes, no importa no como I don't care, sino como que no me molesta, ¿cierto? It's like, I don't have problems with that, right? So I don't mind it, yeah, always using it. Hmm? Then you said, I hate it, I like it, I don't mind it. Or the other possibility is expressing the sentence, the action first. So that it makes me anxious, it upsets me, it relaxes me, it stresses me, it annoys me, it bothers me, right? All different actions too. The expression makes me, it's going to be accompanied with an adjective. It makes me anxious. It makes me happy. It makes me sad. It makes me sick. It makes me stressed. It makes me relaxed. It makes me special. Makes me, yeah. It's like a situation that makes you feel in certain way, right? And then after the when, you are going to introduce what is the situation that produces you that feeling, right? Example, Mrs. Najibi, are you there? ¿Estás ahí, Najibi? Could you please help me with the first example, dear?
We hate it when my friends don't arrive on time.
Mhm. Thank you so much. So there is a situation that I hate. What is the situation? When my friends don't arrive on time. So that's like, okay, this person probably is impatient. Why? Because it's a person that hates it when his friends don't arrive on time, right? That's great. Oh, my dear Paula, do you have microphone? Paula?
Yes, it
Good.
makes me anxious when I have to present a test.
Excellent, very good. So it makes me anxious when I have to present a test. So probably it's a person that is, well, the personality is anxious or insecure. Why? Because it's a person that feels anxious when the person has to present a test. No? So in that case, this when it's introducing, yeah, that situation produces that feeling on the person, right? And the last one, Mrs. Emily, do you?
Yes, it upsets me when people ask me for a favor.
Dude, it upsets me when people ask me for a favor. Probably it's a person that is independent or it's a person that is a little bit egotistical, right? Because it's a person that feels upset when others ask him or her for a favor, no? So in that case, the when, it's going to allow me to say, yeah, okay, that situation that I'm introducing here, it's producing that feeling on the person. So I can consider the person as someone, impatient or patient or brave or coward. What's the meaning of coward?
Cobarde.
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 Muy bien, very good. Guys, you have a good vocabulary in adjectives. Great. I am impressed. Good. So, in that case, that's the idea of using relative pronouns. Ready? Who for describing the characteristics of that person, and when for describing the different situations that can be involved around the person. Right? So, let me just erase this part. So we had here some examples that we didn't talk about before. So the outgoing person, we already explained it. The generous is kind of obvious what is generous. But I have a question. What is an stingy person? What is an stingy person?
Creo que era
Tacaño.
tacaña.
I didn't understand anything. Por ahí hablaron en español, but I didn't understand. So
A person that is protective with their money.
okay, very good. So an stingy person, ¿cierto? A stingy, perdón, a stingy person. Come on, a stingy person is someone who o that, muy bien, that puede reemplazar el who, right? Who is protective with their money. Okay, that's a possibility. Any other characteristic about the stingy person?
Don't spend the other person's.
Of course. So a stingy person is someone who doesn't spend in other people. ¿Cierto? Very good. ¿Qué más? Anything else?
It's a person that doesn't like to spend money in, what is the, I forgot, in expensive
In
things.
yes,
Okay,
in necessary things.
good. He's a person who doesn't like to spend money in unnecessary and expensive things, right? Very good. Guys, those are the characteristics of the person, right? But what about with the same question, what is an stingy person? If you describe the situations that make a person stingy. What is what an stingy person likes or don't like? What is what an stingy person hates?
When you are in a restaurant and that person doesn't like or don't want to pay for your check.
Exactly.
It's the
So
person that always say, no, I pay for myself, no more.
exactly. So it's a person that hates it when he or she has to pay other person's check, no? Muy bien, Brian. What other situation? Do you think that a stingy person is someone that likes when he or she has to give presents or not?
Doesn't like
Mm. And that's
or
a,
pro
uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
No, dale,
No,
dale,
go
go.
ahead. That is a person, it's just an example that probably he takes a bath in 2 days because he wants to save water for the water bill.
For example, right? So
Mhm.
It could be a person just like to buy cheapy things or cheap stuff. Could be.
good. So it's a person that likes it when he buys cheap stuff, right? Good. Excellent. That's great. Muy bien. Ready? Then what about if I say, what are the situations that a temperamental person will like or don't like?
I think they usually like calm situations because in stressful situations they tend to explode.
Exactly, Julian. So they like it when they have peace, no? But they hate it when they have to, when they feel stressed because usually it's a moment when they explode, no? And this, when we describe the characteristics of the person, we can use who or that, but remember that if we describe the situations that typically involve that kind of people, we're going to use the connector or the relative pronoun when, right? So a temperamental person is someone who doesn't like it when feels stressed, for example. Is a person who likes it when everything is calm and relaxed, right? I don't know. A funny person is someone who likes it when people laugh of their jokes. Uh, is a person who feels terrified when the people don't laugh of their jokes. Or probably they feel ashamed when the people don't laugh of their jokes. No? So in that case, the use of when it's going to allow me not only to talk about the characteristics of the person, but also talking about the situations in which these people normally develop themselves. And what is that? The typical situations that involve that kind of personality. Okay, ready? Bueno, guys, I suppose that everything is clear over here. Do you have any questions whatsoever? Any difficulties, problems? Everything clear? What do you feel?
I have a question. Words like whose or whom are also considered relative pronouns.
Not really because they are considered as WH questions, right? But no, sorry, the opposite. They are not considered as WH questions. They are considered as relative pronouns because they are used to connect words, especially whom, for example, is a connector that replace who plus preposition. Exactly, who plus preposition, it's replaced by whom. So it does exactly the same. For example, instead of saying that, I don't know, let's say Julián is a man.
And that.
that is a relative pronoun that replaces who and which. Ready? It's
Okay.
it's also a relative pronoun. Ready? Of course, claro, that is a informal possibility, and it's also connecting other kind of ideas. But in this case, it can be considered as a relative pronoun, as an emergency relative pronoun. Now, here we have Julian. It's a man who I can, let's say, trust in. Ready? Yes. To do, to do it with whom, what I'm going to do, it's like putting the preposition before and then using whom. Instead of saying that Julian is a man who I can trust in, I'm going to use the preposition before in whom I can trust. Ready? Whom, it's a more formal way to use the prepositions with the who, right? It's more formal. That's why normally we use this way. Who plus the preposition. But if you want to form to, or to sound more formal, it's better to use the preposition plus the whom. Okay? And whose is a relative pronoun used for describing possession, belonging, no? So de quién, right? Or cuyo, in which case. So, but yes, they are considered also as relative pronouns, just that for very specific cases, Julian, okay?
All right, thanks.
Good, no problem. Okay, guys. Well, so we're going to go back into the first picture that we saw, and we're going to try to answer what is the what it says the personality that it's the best job. We already did it, ready? But we're going to answer the second question, which is which would be the best option for you? The best option in terms of profession. For example, in my case, I consider that for myself the best option might be to be a, I don't know. Probably the best option for me might be to be a doctor. Yes, because I am a person who likes when I help other people, and also I am someone who is really knowledgeable about different topics. Well, of course, not about medicine, not about anatomy, but about other things. But I can be also knowledgeable. I mean, I am someone who learns very fast. No, so that's why the best option for me might be a doctor. What about for you? What do you think? Raise your hand and give me your opinion. What do you think? What would be the best job for you? María Isabel, cuéntame, tell me.
Okay, teacher, the best option for me would be a veterinarian because I love animals in general. So when you love something, so I think it's easier to learn and to practice or to share. So that's why I think the best option for me is being a veterinarian.
Great, very good. So you can complement those ideas or connect it better if this is, for example, I am someone who loves animals, right? So using the who.
Okay, so I am who? Sorry.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
Okay, so because who I like no, I got lost. Sorry.
No, don't worry. I am someone who, that's it.
I am someone who loves animals.
Exactly like that, right? Exactly. Other different possibilities. I like it when I work with animals, for example, or I like it when I spend time with animals, something like that, like it's just for using it. Mhm. Okay, Mari, thank you so much. Julian.
I think the best option for me could be to be a judge because I'm someone who likes gossip a lot. I'm someone who has a very strong sense of justice, and I'm someone who's really judgmental.
Great. I couldn't say better. Very good. Excellent, Julian. Adam, what?
For me,
Wait, Adam,
it
and then you
could.
go. Ready?
Oh,
Adam, then Valentin.
Uh, I think I'm something who is so knowledgeable, for example, in maths, and I'm studying maths, so I would be related with a scientist.
Okay, Adam, very good. Pilar, something, no, because you are not an object, you are a person. So you said, I am someone who is knowledgeable about mathematics. Ready? Yeah, because if you say something, it's like una cosa, but you are a person, so you said someone. Ready? Vale, go ahead, my dear. I'm sorry that I interrupted.
Okay. No, don't worry. For me, it can be astronaut because I'm someone who loves astronomy. I love, yes, that was one.
As simple as that. Very good. So she will be an astronaut because she's someone who loves astronomy. That's great. Excellent. Thank you. Anybody else? It's fine. Listo. Okay, guys, no worries. It's fine. Remember that, bueno, most of you use the examples with who. I am someone who, I am someone who is knowledgeable, I am someone who loves that. It's perfect. But also remember the inclusion of when for talking about situations. You know what? The best option for me might be an astronaut because I love it when I can see the stars or something like that. Or the best option for me it's scientist because I like it when I discover new things, something like that. So it's not only about the characteristics of the people, but also the situations that people can afford. Okay. So, guys, I would say that everything is clear here. The vocabulary was really, really easy for you. I am impressed, seriously. And the structures were they are also easy. Just guys, when you learn a new structure, try to force it into the vocabulary. Because it's a good idea to expand our vocabulary range, vocabulary, our lexical range. Good. So in that case, those new expressions like using when or connecting ideas with relative clauses, they need to be forced, no? Because our vocabulary, especially you, that you have a great vocabulary and a great fluency now, you have to force new expressions like into the space that it requires, no? So you have to like try to force yourself to use the structure, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable at the beginning, but try to do that, okay? Any question, guys, whatsoever, difficulties, problems, anything?
No.
A teacher.
Listo, muy bien, very good. Guys, antes de irnos, most of you program the class for Friday? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Two
Okay.
classes this week?
Yeah, 2 classes this week. The other one is on
Oh,
Friday.
at the
I can
same
do
time?
it. I can do it now or no?
Yeah, sure. I am sure that there are spaces still available.
Yeah,
Okay,
but with a
thank you.
different teacher, not with you,
Oh,
right?
no way. No, I think with me
Mm,
there are still spaces.
I didn't
Okay.
find you.
Let me check. Let me check because I have that information right here. Wait.
Is at the same time?
Yes, it's at the same time. Friday,
Okay.
8 p.m., right? Give me 1 second. Ah, no, it's not at the same time. Sorry. On Friday is at 8 p.m.
Okay.
And there are, oh my God, there are 3 spaces left. 3 spaces left. María Isabel, tú estás ahí de primis, o sea que sí estás conmigo, don't worry,
Yes.
right? Listo, very good.
How many spots are the maximum for
20,
class?
20, but if you kindly requested, I can expand it 1 or 2 more, no worries.
Okay. That's perfect.
Right?
Thank you.
Oh, it's fine, it's fine. Guys, but I have a question. I have a question to ask. It's a possibility that the next week we have also, no, it's not a possibility. It's a reality that the next week we also have 2 classes. But probably I am not going to be able to give all the 2 classes at night. So it's a possibility that I will be giving one of the classes in the morning. Is it better for you if I give the class Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, or Saturday in the morning, like 7 a.m.? Is it possible for you?
Yes.
Oh, for me,
Yes.
no.
Yes,
Yes.
for me it's okay, teacher.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Well,
Only the next week.
yeah, well, it's going to be fluctuating. Most of the times I'm going to try to put it at night because I know that it's the best schedule for everybody. But sometimes because of the other classes, I cannot put both classes at night. I will try. Most of the times we will succeed it, but other times it's possible that I have to give one of the classes in the morning. Okay, so I am apologizing right away for that because I know that for some of you it's impossible to attend. But well, I let you know. No, anyway, remember that if I put my class in the morning, other teacher is going to put the class in the afternoon, so you can program the class with the other teacher too. Okay, ready? No worries.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, so I will let you know and be attentive of the schedule for the next week. It's going to arrive a notification here in your platform as soon as it happens. Ready? Here in this part, it's going to appear the notification so you can be alert to that. Ready? It appears like, okay, the teacher program a new class for the next week. So you can check the schedule of that. Ready? Guys, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for the participation. See you the next class on Friday. Nothing. Have a good week. Have a good rest of the week and see you on Friday at 8 p.m. Okay?
Thank
Okay,
you.
teacher.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
Thanks,
teacher.
teacher.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
See you
Bye.
guys.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.